Okay, so what was that terrible sound we just heard? Well, that's the sound that creates nightmares for parents. The things that nightmares are made out of. That's your kid screaming, a blood-curdling scream that you know they're either hurt or about to really be hurt. And that's what that was. That's not a, ooh, you scared me scream. That's not, I'm screaming for joy. That's something bad has just happened or is about to happen. And as a parent, and I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to this, when you hear something like that, your world shrinks down to almost nothing. Your heart stops, time stands still, all of those things combined. And that's exactly what happened here. I ran as fast as I could out that door. Once I hit the door, trying to figure out where she was. I could tell it was her. It's my youngest daughter. I can tell her scream. And I'm like, what in the world just happened? And my boy just happened to be out there riding the four-wheeler, and I'm like, screamed, where is she? And I have a weird reaction when somebody gets hurt, a close family member gets hurt. And I'll go into that in just a minute. But he kind of pointed up towards the field. And what had happened was we'd bought this little horse about a year ago. This horse has never really shown any signs of ever bucking, just a gentle little horse, does what you want. She's just a well-behaved little horse. And we put a lot of trust in this horse, which was a big stretch for me because I just do not trust horses. To me, if you ride horses for any amount of time, it's not a matter of if you're going to get hurt, it's when you get hurt. That's just the facts of life. To me, with a horse, I don't think I've ever met anybody that's ridden horses any amount of time that has not been hurt on a horse in one way or another. Whether that's a horse stepping on your foot and breaking a bone in your foot or your toe, to a lot worse. I've known several people killed on horses. So I don't have a lot of trust in horses to begin with. So as I'm running up the field, getting to where the scream had came from, I passed the horse running back towards the house without my daughter on it. And I get up there, and she's afraid that she kind of knows how I feel about horses, that I don't particularly trust them a whole lot. And she was pretty sure that if she got hurt riding that horse, that would be the end of that horse. So I go running up there, and this is where the weird reaction that I have kind of comes into play. When a close family member's hurt, I bypass all other emotions and go straight to angry. I have no idea why. It's just a natural reaction I have. My dad has the same reaction. To me, it's a weird reaction. I always thought it was weird when I was a kid if I got seriously hurt. And I could go into some of those stories at some other time about weird reactions when I got hurt. But I kind of have the same reaction. My world just kind of turns red and I'm angry. I want to hurt whatever just hurt my kid. So I get up there, and I'm sure I didn't have the best look on my face, especially after running about 80 yards, because I'm not a runner. But I did the best I could at running up there as fast as I could. I get up there, and here's my daughter standing there. I think she was more worried that I was going to forcefully euthanize her horse. So I said, "Are you all right?" The first words out of her mouth, it wasn't her fault. Okay. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. She's trying to brush it off. And as she's got blood running out of her nose, and her helmet, the bill on the helmet is cracked, that's one rule we have with horses around here. I don't care that it doesn't look cool that you're not wearing a cowboy hat. You're wearing a helmet, period. If you don't wear a helmet, you don't ride the horse. So the bill on her helmet's cracked, and she's got scrapes on the side of her face. And I'm all right. I'm all right. And I know the look on my face was probably terrifying. And I'm like, no, you're obviously not all right. Just tell me where you hurt. And we kind of went through a little triage there. And she wasn't hurt real bad. She wound up a pretty good bruise on the inside of her leg where she caught the saddle horn on the way off. But what had happened was this horse, they were up there practicing the barrels. And she's not super fast at barrels yet, either the horse or the daughter. But they've been practicing together, kind of getting the pattern down and getting a little bit faster. I think the best run they've had is around 21 seconds or so, something like that, which, compared to some people that's fast. Compared to the guys or the gals that do it all the time, it's not super fast yet, but they've been working together on it. And I thought they'd been building quite a bit of trust in each other. But for some reason, that horse decided, I don't want to go around barrels anymore. And my daughter was trying to make her do what she's supposed to do. And the horse just decides, oh, I've had enough of this, and went to bucking. And and then took off running and made a hard turn and just dumped her off on the ground. And I don't know at what point in there the scream occurred, whether it was during the bucking or whether it was during the fall. I don't know. And she can't really remember. You know, it's when you have an accident like that, you really can't, the pieces don't always mesh together real well. So at some point in there, she let this blood-curdling scream out, and she might have been screaming a little bit before that, and I was running the impact gun and just didn't hear it. I don't know. Anyway, she wasn't seriously hurt. The horse lived to see another day. It took me a little while to calm down. Like I said, I get that weird reaction of just being completely full of anger when somebody gets hurt. A close family member. I get mad. I don't know why, but it took me a little while to calm down and go back out to the shop. So we'll rejoin the session after I'd calmed down.
bought these last year, and I forgot I bought them. Now, to be totally upfront, this company did give me about a 50% discount on these because I did a video on one of their winches, a review of a winch, and so they offered these light bars at 50% off. I said I wanted to pay for them if I was going to review them. Then I completely forgot I had them. So we'll see what these look like. And the reason I wanted these is for my tractor, because we do, especially this time of year, we do a lot of stuff at night. So we wind up, the headlights on that tractor, the front end loader's right in the way. You don't get a lot of light. I don't remember when I ordered these if I ordered a wiring harness with it. It doesn't look like I did. Looks like a pretty well-made light bar. It's going to be kind of a bummer if I don't have some mounting brackets for it. Not sure what that is. I'm hoping it's lights for the backside. Some small lights for when I'm backing up. I'm going to have to go look around. I just assumed the wiring harness was in there. I don't remember seeing another box with wiring harness in it. Do some brackets. Yeah, and two small lights. Cool. This has got really nice connectors on it. I hate to cut those off and splice the wires together, but that's what I may wind up doing. Okay, I need about 5 inches of clearance.
So I put these lights on a few months ago. I'm just now getting around to getting the video put together. And this video ran a little longer than I was expecting. But what do I think of this light bar setup? I absolutely love it. We do, in the winter, we wind up doing a lot of work outside in the dark just because the days are short. After work, you know, it seems like you get off work and it's dark. We feed a lot of the time in the dark. The kids come home from school and there's only a little bit of daylight. We wind up going out and feeding in the dark. And with the factory lights on the tractor, especially with the front end loader setup, and I've got forks on there right now for feeding, you really can't see much out there with those lights. So I needed lights up above me on that light bar. And the reason I mounted them below the top bar there is I have to cross one spot where there's a guy wire and it's a really tight space, and I've only got about 3 inches of clearance. So if I add anything up above there, I'm going to catch my guy wire all the time. In fact, every once in a while, if I get too close to it, I'll catch it as it is. I've never had any problem with it. I'm thinking about changing that whole situation, making the spot around it a little bigger so I can get around it or something. Maybe move the guy point a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I didn't want anything sticking up above the roll cage, the roll bar. ROPS, that's the word I'm looking for. And so that's the reason it got mounted where it did. And I've always heard that you're not supposed to weld on your ROPS because it could weaken it, so on and so forth. I think I could have got away with just welding that bar in there without clamping it. And the one thing you didn't see in the video was I did little short welds, just, you know, like maybe 5-10 seconds at a time. Then I'd switch to another spot just so I wasn't getting that ROPS hot behind those plates. So you know, after I was done, I could put my hand back there and it was warm, but it really wasn't that hot. So I think that worked out fairly well. Originally, I was going to put some rubber around those U-bolts to try and keep them from chafing on the roll cage, the roll bar, but I decided not to worry about it. I'm not that concerned about it. So anyway, the whole project turned out really good. I'm really impressed with those little light bars. I bought another brand that's on my side-by-side. I don't remember what brand it was, but it's not nearly as bright as these ones. And I didn't need to run real heavy gauge wire up there to it. You know, these LED light bars don't use a lot of power. So I was able to run, I think I ran 12 gauge wire up there to run all the lights, and I've had no issues with it. The wire doesn't get warm or anything. I meant to use an amp meter and see what the amp draw was, but I forgot all about it. But we've been using them all winter, and they've been working great. It's really a huge improvement to working at night with the tractor. A couple times I've had to dig a couple holes with the backhoe at night, and having that light set up back there has been great. Like I said, that's been an excellent addition to our little Branson tractor. So that's about it. I'll try and leave a link to these lights down in the description. I think they still make them. Like I said, it's been almost 2 years since I bought those lights, and I just forgot I had them. I was going through stuff a few weeks ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, I bought these lights. It may not have been 2 years ago, at least a year ago though. I bought those at a discount from Light Fox. They also make the winches and a few other things. And I'd done a review on their winches, and they offered I said, hey, I see you have light bars. I want to buy them. How do I buy them? And they said, well, here's a discount code. So I got them 50% off, but I still wound up, you know, I did purchase those lights. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with them. I have had zero problem with them, and extremely happy now that we can actually see at night instead of driving around pretty much in the dark. You just barely see out in front of you. So that was kind of exciting sometimes. So now it's not so exciting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.